Hi guys, today we're going to be discussing AI models. Let's get into it. If you're new here, my name is Nello. I love to talk about tech, career, AI, and data. If you're interested in any of that, you're going to love it here. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. In today's video, we're going to dive into AI models. I want to tell you guys a quick story. I was first introduced to artificial intelligence when I took my data science class with Coursera, but at that time, generative AI was not popular. What was popular was classification and regression models, which was used to do things like predictive analytics. As you guys know, my background is heavily in analytics, and I really wanted to dive into the predictive analytics space. And that's how I got introduced to classification, regression, and building those type of models, which are typically things that data scientists do. I was super fascinated by it. Fast forward, generative AI is the new cool and it is changing the landscape of technology. I do think that one of the reasons why generative AI is making such huge impact as opposed to other older models is because with classification and regression, you had to be a nerd to access those models or use them. You could only be a consumer of the results. People didn't really understand the impact that technology have. But with generative AI models, you can literally see the data that is generating. And so it's huge. It is changing the way we are engaging with technology. And I think that it is worth having a conversation about that. So let's dive into what generative AI model is. Generative AI, just like the term generative AI, actually means that the AI is generating data. So if you think about it, when you interact with ChatGPT, it gives you a text back. When you use a text to image model, it provides you images, right? It's generating something, and that's why it is called a generative AI model. Now, there are different types of generative AI model. We're going to dive into the most popular ones so that you can have these conversations. And when you hear people talk about Llama, Claude, Anthropic, these are not terms that are completely new to you anymore because you follow me, obviously. So the first one is OpenAI's ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is easily one of the most popular generative AI models, and this is a text generating AI model. Multiple use cases of this model. And when I say multiple use cases, what do I mean? You can use it to code, you can use it to summarize text. It's basically like an assistant. It is a large language model, which means that it generates text. When you give it text, it generates text. And I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about because everybody and their mom knows ChatGPT. The next model is also by OpenAI, but it's called DALL-E. This one is an image generating model. And what I mean by that is that you literally give it text and then it generates images for you. So the time where we had to rely on graphic designers or artists to kind of demonstrate or create images for us, or photographers or things like that, are quickly going into extinct, because in 2025 you can literally use a prompt to generate any kind of images you want using OpenAI's DALL-E's model. The third model is Claude by Anthropic. Now, this is also a large language model that generates text, but one of the things that it is popularly known for is that the responses are safe, thoughtful, and really well structured. So it's very similar to OpenAI's ChatGPT, but it's a competitor that is safer. The fourth one is Gemini by Google. Now, Gemini used to be called Bard, but they're now called Gemini. And obviously, Google used to be the king of search. If you know anything about the internet, you know that the first place you go to search for information was Google. Well, that's how it used to be in the past anyway. But they came up with their own generative AI model called Gemini. And one of the things that everyone says about Gemini is that it has really good reasoning capabilities and it is better for solving complex problems. So you need to know all these models so you know which one to use and when to use which one. The fifth one is Meta's Llama. So Meta kind of joined the AI race a little late, but they came up with their own model and they took a different approach with their model, which I really like. They open sourced their model. And if you don't know what open source is, it really just means that everyone can have access to the code. You can tweak the code. You can do anything you want. So they're not just giving you the model to use. They're giving you literally everything, right? That's what it's called in technology terms when they say something is open source. So Llama is open source, very popular for developers and researchers. And the reason why is because you can literally go in and fine tune and tweak anything that you want because it's open source. So it's very popular with developers and researchers. And by the way, Llama stands for Large Language Model Meta AI. I thought that was super interesting. The sixth one is Stable Diffusion by Stability AI. This is also a text-to-image model used for image generation. The difference between this and OpenAI's DALL-E that we talked about is that this one is open source. So just like Llama's model that is open source, Stable Diffusion is open source as well. Number 7 is Suno AI by Udio. This is a music generating model used to generate music. Super interesting. The last one is DeepSeek by DeepSeek AI. This one kind of broke the internet when it came out. Everybody was talking about it. It is cheaper, open source. People love it because there's a lot of transparency around the training process. This is quite popular also amongst developers, researchers, because it is open source, so they can kind of play around with it and do whatever they want. And it is also cheaper for them. They don't have to pay for like the APIs and things like that. So that's it in today's episode. We went over different types of generative AI models so you kind of know what each one does the next time you hear about ChatGPT, Anthropic's Claude, Meta's Llama, and some of the popular models. If you're interested in tech data and AI, don't forget to use the link in my bio or the description to join my newsletter. And as always, I'll see you guys next week.